Greetings, comic friends. Let's Wednesday it up with TGIW. Thank God it is Wednesday. I'm really excited about this week. There is so much just quality stuff out. We ended up a little bit over our intent. There is a number one that I am contractually obligated to pick up that put us over, so we're at 11 books, one over the target of 10. We'll start with that. But at the same time, there is the last issue of something else that we got, so that was close to being on target. But I did have to pick up Savage Spider-Man because it is a Spider-Man book, and I have to get all Spider-Man books. If I'm going to continue to have a complete run of Spider-Man, meaning all Spider-Man, all ongoings and all limiteds, any ongoing or limited that comes out, I gotta get it. I have to get it, even if it ends up being awful. But this, it looks interesting. It looks like we have maybe a what-if type story of Spider-Man having a further mutation into another spider. Not a spider, more spider-like appearance. Maybe tinges of our six-armed Spider-Man. It was a great story. The one that introduced Mobius to us. Or Morbius, sorry. And then the rest are mostly really good. The one that I'm least excited about is the Marvels number 8. This is fine. This is just something that I don't need to be reading. I will finish it out. I think there's only one more issue left after this. It's not a bad book. It's just I could easily have done without it. After this, so I get all these Marvels type books because I'm subscribed that way. After this is done, I'm going to take myself off that. Any other Marvels types books that come out, I'll probably pass on. This is usually one of my favorite books that comes out when it does come out. Spider-Woman. I don't know if there's anyone else out there reading this. I'm not sure. I never hear of anyone else reading it, but it is so fantastic. I can't say enough about this book. It's so good. I still think it's probably one of the most underrated Marvel books out there right now. But I mean, if you don't like Spider-Woman, then you don't care, but man, it's good. Daredevil the Woman Without Fear, number 2. I picked up number 1 of this against my no limited series sort of inclination. But I did make an exception for this because Zdarsky's Daredevil is so good. I love Elektra in the costume, so I felt like I needed more of it. I wasn't getting enough just out of Daredevil. So I picked up number 1, and it absolutely did not disappoint. So I went ahead and made sure that I picked up the series. I think it's only 4 issues, if I remember correctly. But yeah, first issue was really good. Alien number 9. So we have a small, newish colony that is just kind of aggregating the land, living very low tech, and a ship crashes and it has an alien and it's about to run amok there. But this is a super cool cover on the windmill there, just kind of perched. Just fun alien stories. I really like this book. I was sort of not sure about picking it up when it first came out. I was sure about picking up at least the first couple of issues and seeing how it was, but not sure if it was going to be something that I stayed on. But so far, I've liked it. This is the third story that they've told. It's just a series of unrelated stories. It's almost like a limited series anthology, right? Where it's all alien stories, and it's not an anthology of one shots. It's an anthology of arcs, where each arc is not necessarily related to the other. It works. It's a format that I think works really well, just to get out some alien books. And instead of having a bunch of limited series, like they kind of did like what Dark Horse did back when they had the license. It would just be a bunch of like 4-issue to 6-issue limited series, just came out sporadically. But having it all under an ongoing but individual stories, I think, is a real good a good format. Crossover 11. And I think this is, again, I continue to enjoy this book. I might be the only one, so I don't know. I was talking with one of my friends that works at one of the comic shops, and they are not a fan. They keep reading it, though. So we had some fun talking about that, and I think, they're reading it just because they know they're going to hate it, and they just want to be assured in their hatred for it. I don't know. I get that it's not for everyone, but again, I think it's sort of a different idea. I think one of my points, their point was, it is Donny Cates, and I've talked about how I feel about Donny Cates recently. It is Donny Cates. It is that sort of over-the-top Donny Cates-ness, but it's in his own thing. Like, he's not out there ruining Thor or ruining Hulk. He's ruining his own business, so I'm kind of okay with it. Like, yeah, it's crazy over-the-top stuff, but it's self-contained. It's just this one story. It's not these established characters that I don't think need to be as shaken up as he does every single time. So I'm a little less worn out by crossover and Donny Cates being Donny Cates about it, especially him putting himself in the book, which is, oh yeah. Let's see, Fantastic Four: Reckoning War. I don't know what this story's about. I haven't read any of the solicits or anything. I really stay away from that sort of stuff. I'll see like the advertisements for it in other books, like, oh, it's a Fantastic Four event. I'll probably be into that. So I just went ahead and added it because I do like Fantastic Four. I think Slott's great. He's been doing a good job on it. So it was kind of a no-brainer to pick that up. I don't know how long it's going on for, how many books it's going to span. Is it only in Fantastic Four and this is just an alpha and the rest of it's going to be in Fantastic Four? I don't really know. I just Reckoning War, whatever it is, I'll get into it. Next we have Noctera number 7. One of the, I've been cooling it off on Image books. I may still have quite a few, but this is one that I think if I had to do it all over again, I would still pick this up. This is really good. A really good story, a really interesting world. Lots of interesting characters and character dynamics. So if you're not reading it, I believe the first trade is out. It might be worth picking up, but it's a good read. Serial number 10. This is the last issue. It's been a good read. I didn't realize that until the previous issue that this is taking place in, what's it called? One of Terry Moore's pre-established worlds. I did not realize that, and maybe there are some I might be talking about this and people are yelling at their screen, that character's the character from this other thing, I didn't know that. I just read it as a standalone story, and it's been great. So I think it was the last issue I read an ad in it that's read more stories from the world of Serial or something it's like the Strangers in Paradise, or is that what his thing is? Anyway, apparently this is part of a bigger world. And maybe I'll have to check it out because I really like Serial and the way that was written. So maybe it's a gateway into some of that other Terry Moore stuff. I think I picked it up just because I don't remember if it was off a solicit and previews or the number 1 was on the shelf and I picked it up and flipped through it and thought it looked interesting. But I ended up with it and yeah, I'm dumb. Batman number 120 with, I forget this character's name, but we're towards the beginning of a new arc. I think the previous issue was a new arc. The backup story of Gotham Academy, I think, was the first part in the last issue. Ooh, sorry, tired. It was okay. I don't remember it blowing me away, but it was okay. But yeah, Batman, Williamson, and I've been enjoying Williamson. What was it that Williamson's been on that I really liked? I think it was Robin. I'm starting to really notice Williamson a lot more. He's writing a lot of the DC stuff that I like. And the last thing from the poll list today, Star Trek: The Mirror War #4. I'm getting more into it than what I had been in the first 2 issues. Here we have some DS9 stuff, so I'm going to love that. But yeah, it's been good. And maybe it's one of those things I didn't need to get, but it's been good. Also, Amazing Spider-Man came out today, but the shop that I get that at didn't get their full order. They didn't get any of their Amazing Spider-Man in, so I'll probably pick that up next week, I guess. Which is unfortunate because I have really been enjoying Amazing Spider-Man, and excuse me. I hate to have that delayed, but next week I'll probably just have 2 Amazing Spider-Mans. Who knows? I did actually get some other stuff this week. I picked up She-Hulk's #4. I have gotten, this is #4 of a 4-issue limited series. Nothing special about this issue. I had gotten 1 through 3 from a friend, and one of my shops had #4, so I picked it up to complete that limited series. And then when I was poking around She-Hulk books, I found that one of the shops had this 2-part prestige format, She-Hulk: The Ceremony, part 1 and 2. I don't know if there's anything significant about it. It seemed like a good She-Hulk read, and they were cheap. They were like less than $3 each for a pair of prestige format books. Maybe it's because it's not good. I don't know, but it seemed like, for less than $8 to get a She-Hulk read, sure, we'll see how it is. And it's Dwayne McDuffie, and I flipped through it, and the art is sort of painted-esque art that's on the cover, which I really like, so picked it up. I also picked this up, which maybe wasn't the best idea, given that I already have so much to read, but I'd never actually read any of these, of the Milestone books, the DC Milestone. So, and this is a good chunk of books for $60. It's Compendium One, so presuming there's going to be at least one more of them. And I was also worried, how it was going to be formatted. Of all the, was it going to have just half of each of the series in them, and then you have to get the second compendium to get the next. But I think it's the full series of the ones that are in here. So it has Hardware 1 through 12, Blood Syndicate 1 through 12, Icon 1 through 10, Static 1 through 8, Shadow Cabinet 0, and Zombie 0 through 11. But of course I don't actually know how many issues each of those were. Not that it's hard to look up or anything. But yeah, I'd never read any of them. I'd considered collecting them just to get to read them, but I mean, I don't really need the individual issues. So if this compendium will go ahead and take care of that for me for a very reasonable price, I thought. So it's what, 12, 24, 34, 42, 43, 55 issues for $60. That's almost just $1 an issue, essentially. That's pretty good. That's a solid compendium. I don't I really don't like reading compendiums. Like I don't like reading things that are this big. They're just unwieldy and difficult to read and not very transportable. But I can do it. It's not my preferred way to read things. But for this sort of deal, this sort of value, and to get all this content all at once, I couldn't say no, so I picked that up. But that is all. That's all of it. Yeah, great stuff. I don't think there's anything that I'm really like kind of dreading reading. As I said, I think the one I'm looking forward to the least is Marvel's, but even that, like it's good. So yeah, it was a solid week. I was a little bit over, got some extra stuff, but yeah, it happens from time to time. Not too concerned about it. Real happy with this Milestone Compendium. It looks like it's probably going to be really quick reads. Like this is very dialogue light, but it is definitely. I already have no shortage of stuff to read. It's just another thing to add to the to read pile. But it is what it is. But that's it. Let me know how you did, how you think I did. Did you pick up anything extra? Have you read Milestone stuff? I mean, I've not read any of it. I haven't read a single issue of Milestone before. So if you have, let me know what you think of it. Did I throw away $60? Is it just garbage? I don't know. Maybe not. We'll find out. But for this like 90s stuff, even 90s garbage, I usually get some enjoyment out of. It's usually rare that I don't. There are some. I've talked about some before where like this is just. There's no redeeming value in it. I'm looking at you, Mark Spector, Moon Knight. But usually I can get some sort of enjoyment even though it's not technically good. But let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, of course, don't forget to make yours Titan. This video was brought to you by Titan Comic Pressing. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Titan Comic Pressing LLC.